So it's in all of our interests to make sure that we're doing all that we can to keep our bilateral economic relationship strong and growing, and to make smart decisions and investments to keep the economies moving forward and thriving into the future. Of course, we've all been living with the pandemic, and among other things, it's exposed vulnerabilities in our global supply chains for critical products, including medical equipment, supplies, semiconductors. We need to build secure and resilient supply chains for the future. This is a critical task that President Biden has put a lot of emphasis on. And of course, the pandemic also had significant economic impacts on the world. We need to lead a sustainable recovery, and even better, a green recovery, because that's the best way to meet the climate goals that we share. More broadly, now is really the time to work together to make sure that as technology and innovation move forward so quickly, consumers are protected, privacy is protected, and those who steal intellectual property are held accountable for it. We need a systematic approach to building the industries of the future while protecting against unfair and illegal practices. Those are just some of the issues, and there's so many more, but those are just some of the headline issues that will affect Japanese and American workers, businesses, and families in the years ahead. And it's a top priority for the Biden-Harris administration to address them and to move forward on them. President Biden, as I said, wants a foreign policy that actually delivers results for our workers, for their families, for our businesses, and finding ways to deepen our economic cooperation is exactly what he has in mind. So with that, Melinda, let me hand it back to you, and we can have a conversation.
Thank you, Secretary Blinken. We will pause briefly to allow the press to have a more free-flowing conversation. Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Melinda Pavic, and I am the Director of Science, Innovation, and Development at Embassy Tokyo. We welcome Secretary of State Antony Blinken for this conversation with Japanese entrepreneurs. Thank you to our panelists for joining this timely discussion about women's experiences as entrepreneurs in Japan, gender equality, and how governments can better support women as business founders, owners, and leaders. I will now turn the floor over to Mission Japan's Chargé d'Affaires, Joe Young.
Thanks, Melinda. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for participating. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce our 71st Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. Secretary Blinken has long been one of the leading lights of American foreign policy. He enjoys an exceptionally close relationship with President Biden, one that spans 2 decades. He was formerly the Deputy Secretary of State during President Obama's second term, and that time was deeply involved in Asia policy as one of the architects of the rebalance policy. I was on the Japan desk when he was the Deputy Secretary, and I remember the energy that he brought to alliance issues. Before that, he served as the National Security Advisor to then Vice President Biden, also served as the Democratic Staff Director for the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. A dynamic economy and are powerful drivers of job creation, and the Development Finance Corporation is wise to support them. So thank you, Mr. Secretary, for this terrific opportunity this morning. We're looking forward to your thoughts.
Joe, thank you very, very much. And Melinda, thanks to you as well for bringing all of us together. It's wonderful to be with all of you. And I'm especially glad to make this one of my first conversations here in Japan, because entrepreneurs like you have a critical role to play in building dynamic, innovative economies that create opportunities for people, which is, after all, what this is all about. The economic relationship between the United States and Japan is powerful and vital, I think, for both of our countries. We're top trading partners, as you know. We're top investors in each other's economies. And of course, we now have more than 900,000 Americans whose jobs are tied to Japanese investment. So we really do have a shared interest in making sure that our governments and our private sectors are working together to make the economic ties between us even stronger for the good of our workers, for the good of our businesses, for the good of our families. Entrepreneurs like you, I think, are central to that effort. We've got to make sure that our policies, that our investments support and develop entrepreneurs who are often a powerful engine for economic growth and job creation, but specifically women entrepreneurs. You have the drive, the talent, the commitment to start and grow businesses, but often you don't get the same opportunities or the same support that men receive. When we tear down the barriers that are holding women back, we make economies stronger for everyone. And that's the spirit that I hope we can have a good conversation today. I'm really here to listen, to learn from your own experiences, your own ideas, and I'm eager to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We will pause for a brief moment while the press leaves.